Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our broadcast. I hope that you enjoyed the rain. I know we don't usually enjoy rain, but Vermont needs rain really bad right now, and we're desperate for it. So, that good soaking that we had is probably going to be quite helpful for everything that's going on and help our foliage. As I said the other day, I hope you've been enjoying the foliage because it's really been powerful here in Vermont, and so many people, tourists are coming in, and restaurants are picking up again, and hotels. So that's really awesome to see and know that our economy can at least begin to get back on its feet. Well, listen, I have a really special guest that I want to talk to today. So I would like to introduce you to Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about what it is you do?
My name is Kevin Creasel. Yes, related to the handsome guy that said hello at the beginning here.
Looks just like me.
That's my pop. My wife and I and the four kids, we live in New York right now. I work at a Christian seminary, Alliance Seminary. It's part of a Nyack College. And I basically help like leaders and ministers from around the world get better at what God's calling them to do. So that's me.
Wow. So, Kevin, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, besides the fact that you're awesome and my son and I love you so much, and it's good to see you, is just knowing you the way I do, you cover such a broad range of things that we've been talking about. I've done a number of interviews throughout the summer, and ever since COVID hit, way back, it's been like 5 months now that this has been going on. And so, I've talked to parents, I've talked to students, I've talked to teachers, I've talked to a professor, I've talked to a principal of a high school. And as I was thinking about you, Kevin, I realized you cover many, many areas because of all the things that you do and all the things that you're involved in. So, I know that what they're saying is that this is the worst crisis our nation has ever had. And so everything has been turned upside down in schools, in people's lives, in families, in jobs, in businesses. It's just been, it's been horrendous. So, we've attempted to just talk to different people and just let people get a feel for their situation and how they're coping with it and just what it means to them. So, you have done some teaching. You do work at a college. Maybe give us a little picture of what that's been like as an administrator in college, what it's been like for the college to deal with everything that's been going on.
Yeah. So, we have 90 minutes. How long we got?
90 seconds.
So, from a staff perspective, that's the easiest one. Here in New York City, they shut our college down. In the physical sense. So staff were just working remotely, which has its pros and cons. From a student perspective, I work mostly with graduate students, so these are adults. Typically, my students would have come for a 9-day course in July. It'd been straight through, stayed at a hotel right next door. So we had to pivot and make that purely virtual, which is not the best environment for that class. Undergrad wise, undergraduate students coming out of high school, going into college, that's been different too. We started the semester online. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, students can move into the dorms and then finish the semester doing a combo of online and in person. Overall, for higher education, it's very hard because if all education moves online, honestly, off the record, I would tell people, do the cheapest online program you can find because it's a very different experience. As much as we try to make it the same, it kind of makes sense to do the most inexpensive online you can find if everything is going to be online. So, yeah.
Now, have you had a chance to talk to any students and get a feel for how they're coping with this kind of situation?
Again, my students are adults, so two responses to that question. One, I've had at least a dozen conversations with students who like either lost a parent because again they're adults, so their parents are older, or somebody in their congregation, and like there's just tons of actual death that like I'm interacting with students about, and that looks like anything from I need an extension to I need to withdraw and trying to work them through that. Second response would be the less extreme, which is students who are just saying, yeah, I can do A or B, but I have my kid doing cartwheels in the back, or my cat is walking across the Zoom class, and just the inconveniences of trying to do this remotely now. So again, it's at best an inconvenience and at worst tragedy, unfortunately.
Okay. Wow. From one extreme to the other, huh? Oh, well, Kevin, you're a parent and you have 4 students. 3 of them are in college, and I know that 2 of them have left home now and they're back at school. Or in the case of Alexa, she has just started college for the first time. So when it comes to the students, the 2 kids that have gone out now and have left the home and gone to college, what as a parent have you noticed? How have they coped with everything?
So 2 parts, I guess. Seeing the kids' schools and how they chose to go about this, one in Massachusetts, one in Pennsylvania, very interesting. Anything from COVID tests before you sign in and having to wait for the results, and then weekly or bi-weekly more COVID tests, to just simply enforcing masks at some points. There haven't been a ton of reported cases at either school since they've started. So either they're really good at hiding it or they're doing something relatively right. From a parent's perspective, again, this may be just me being either ignorant or full of faith. You can choose. I'm not overly worried about their health while there. Like, I feel like if they're being reasonable, they're okay. Again, some of the structures and some of the things they've had to close or shut down or miss out on at school is impacting them. But safety-wise, they seem okay. I have no idea how they're not getting more COVID, because from what I see, some kids are going off campus and behaving a little more cavalierly, if that's a word. But again, so far, there hasn't been anything extreme happening.
Okay. Wow. Now, then you have your third child, or third adult, we'll say, Michael. Michael has started medical school, and we know what his graduation was like when he graduated from this year. Here's your first child graduates from college, and you're not even able to go and have a graduation. And now here he is, he's starting medical school, but yet at the same time, he hasn't left home. So what has that whole experience been like for you and Maria, with Michael in his graduation and not having a regular graduation, and then now he's at home studying and yet going back and forth a little bit? What has that been like for you?
My first thought to that question, good question, is I kind of grieve for him. Like, I feel really bad that his senior year ended the way it did. And I know, again, I know it's all relative because there's very tragic things happening. So for him to miss out on, 5 or 6 things is not tragic in the sense, but I just grieve for him that he had to lose some stuff there. So that's sad. I don't know that, we fully processed that, but that's, I grieve that. I spend more on groceries, however, because he is home and he likes to eat. So that's the plus.
I remember when you said that, I remembered your graduation from college and Maria's graduation from college. Just what great experiences those were for us as grandparents or as your parents. And when we were so excited, looking forward to Michael's graduation and going, and I remember what a heartbreak that was for us, and I can see it must have been for you too, and even grieving for him, knowing how he, how he felt about it. How is he coping with studying at home now?
Fine. He's sort of taken over a space that works for him. He goes up to his school, about a 45-minute drive, a couple times a week for different things. It's not 100% online. He has to go in for a few things. So he likes that. It's great having him home in the sense of, I don't know how much longer we'll get to be around him and spend time with him. So that's good. It's less lonely for my youngest. So she at least has somebody else. So we're not all up in her business all the time. So that's good for her.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, Kev, I know that you and Maria are really involved in the church. And I believe Maria is even part-time on staff with Pastor John at the church that you attend. And I believe that you were closed for most of the summer when most other churches were opening up. I'm not sure about New York churches, what they were looking like, but maybe just as someone involved in the church, maybe give us a little picture of what that's been like, with the church going through COVID and opening, closing, and opening up again.
Yeah. So when COVID first hit, I was doing youth ministry, and that just kind of came to a halt. Like I was telling some of our leaders, I feel like it was probably like 4 or 5 weeks. So that's like end of April, maybe, before my mind actually clicked into like continuing ministry. I don't know. It was a weird, like a COVID pause. Whereas I wish I would have been more prepared to kind of hit the ground running and react quickly. I always thought I could pivot well, and that was not the case. So we closed off the year pretty abruptly. Probably not the best we could have, but we did. We were allowed to have people in person at the beginning of September is when we chose to come back. So we could have come back sooner, but we're back for 4 weeks now. So all summer was online, just streaming the services as normal. We've had 4 weeks back, doing one service. Again, no real issues or complications yet. People seem to be abiding by what they need to, at least in our part of New York. Maria did start a Connect group Bible study kind of thing that started online when we could only be online. And that has between 35 and 40 women.
Wow.
Again, way more than anything we ever get for anything. Some of them, again, could only come because it was online, like they're in Florida or something. But now that we're back in person, we find that there's still a real desire to keep it online, like partly because of convenience. People find it real easy to, hey, let me like stop what I'm doing 2 minutes before the Bible study, join the Bible study, and then go back to what I'm doing. So she's still running, even though it can be in person, like some of our things are, she's still running like, high 30s for that. So we've done that well as a church. Maria's a rock star with that. And a couple other smaller things that are going well as well.
And I think that falls in line with so many other churches. I know here at our church, it's kind of the same way. The way things got shut down, it was so abrupt, and just having to transition and work through that. Now that we've opened back up again and started services again, it's still people coming back slowly, just taking their time. Well, son, as we wind down, is there anything that the Lord has kind of shown you, or maybe just something you've learned from the Lord through this whole thing? Like I said, you have so many different avenues of experience when it comes to this. working in the church and working in a school and working, in a college and working with your kids and working with youth and kids going off to college, kids staying home from college. How have you kind of, has God showed you anything or settled in anything with you as you've kind of, worked through all these different avenues of ministry and home and family and everything?
Yeah, that would have been a great question to have ahead of time. I'll get three responses, I think, if I can remember them. One, I would say I've really appreciated family now. Appreciate family because I don't get to see you guys, which has been hard. I kind of took that for granted, how easy it was to go visit. But appreciate having the kids around. I don't know how many more seasons I'm going to get with all of them, around like that. So that's been good. The break in everything caused by COVID forced at least me and some others I know to a little more reflective, quiet time with God that wasn't necessarily there before.
Wow.
But what it's actually shown me is how quickly and prone I am to return to clutter, because we're not even back to 100% normal. And I already see just how I fill time, I fill space with clutter rather than some of that time with God. And so that's been sad, yet, a realization to confront. And the third thing would be, and I don't know that we did this well, to no one's fault, but the third thing would be just the need to consider how life change and ministry can adjust or should adjust. I hate using that word, but the flip of kind of going back to normal or doing ministry as normal, just kind of blowing my mind to think there must be some better ways to help people engage life change in Jesus. And we as a church just need to be better at finding those and jumping on them. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, that's really powerful. I appreciate you sharing that, son. Well, listen, as we close, I'm just going to ask you if you would pray. Maybe just pray from your heart, maybe for parents, for teachers, for kids going off to school, kids doing school online and stuff. And just pray for the situation and everything that's going on, for God to, just minister to people during this time.
Yeah. Right now? Okay.
Yes.
Father, your goodness astounds me. Your grace overwhelms me. And so I guess, God, what I pray is for myself, for Dad, for the people who may stumble across this, that we would be the kind of people that recognize your grace, that receive your grace, and that reflect your grace. That you just help us be the kind of people that love well, love kids in this tough season, love parents in this tough season, love teachers in this tough season, love, people who are unmarried and without kids in this season, that we would just be the kind of people that love well and represent you well. So I pray that, and I just give you thanks in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Well, son, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining with us today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay safe. God bless you, and everyone, just have a great day.